So Carolina, they lose their first game of the season a couple games earlier, and they're not going to go 82 and 0. I mean, that's the first thing before I get into anything. And I'm not going to rant. It does suck to lose. It's a new season. But it does suck to lose to a team for the past couple years has been one of the bottom 3, if not the worst team in the league. So it sucks to lose to them. Yeah, there are stuff to complain. There's a lot to complain about, but there's some positives. So since this game, there's a lot to complain about. Let's start with some positives. They got better as the game went on. It was a back to back. I think they were feeling it in the first period, but they got better. The second period was better than the first period. The third period, best period of the game by far. So all in all, they got better. Their forecheck, I was originally going to say after the first period, the offense sucked, goaltending sucked, defense sucked, forecheck sucked, back check actually surprisingly sucked, their man-on-man coverage sucked, their power play sucked, their penalty kill, they didn't get many penalty kills. They did a good job staying out of the box consistently, but their penalty kill was good. So penalty kill was good. So I was going to be like, oh, the penalty kill's good. Everything else sucked tonight. But to be fair to Carolina, the passing sucked in the first period. Actually, the passing kind of continued. But to be fair to Carolina, and even one player, I owe an apology on Twitter. I even tweeted it out. I was thinking, I actually thought too, watch Natchez score. Natchez, I thought, had a really bad game up until he scored. Like, I mean, there were times where there was one moment where if the net, I can't move that much because I'm going to have to buy new headphones. They broke in my traveling because I brought my headphones. But tangent, so I got to be careful not to move so the mic can pick me up. But if the net's here, there was a forecheck going on here, and the guy had the puck and he was coming out with pressure. Natchez, I get that he had a guy right here, but instead of putting some pressure on the puck carrier, I know he might have been able to make the pass and maybe Brendan Moore didn't present it, but to me, if the guy has pressure and he's trying to carry the puck in front of the net and now he's no longer behind the net, I think Natchez, instead of coming in like that to put even a little bit of pressure on the guy, he just went like that. No pressure. No pressure on the guy. I yelled, Natchez, what are you doing? And it was a play like that that really bothered me. I think there was another play where I'm like, oh my God, Natchez. I think even before Teravainen scored, he tried doing a flip in the air and it ended up clearing the zone for the other team. And then, Teravainen came in and scored, so that's null and void. But it was plays like that where I was really critical of Natchez. So I want to be fair in my criticism because he got a goal tonight and he made up for it. But man, it didn't work out. Now, on to Tony DeAngelo. He gets a lot of hate on Twitter. I think tonight it was deserved. Whether or not his political stuff gets hate, that's in the eye of the beholder. Do I agree with everything Tony DeAngelo says politically? No. But it doesn't matter. His job is to play hockey. Don't take athletes' political opinions seriously, even if you agree with them. And there are some athletes who I do agree with what they say. So don't take him seriously. But he just did not work with Orlov. I think Chatfield should get the start. I think Chatfield will get the start. But Tony DeAngelo, he did not work. He did well in the power play. We got a power play goal out of it, but we have other options on the power play. Michael Bunting, he got an apple on the power play goal tonight, so that's 2 points for Michael Bunting. So Michael Bunting is a weapon there for Carolina. Burns can quarterback a power play. We're getting other options on the power play for the first time in the Rod Brind'Amour era of the Carolina Hurricanes. So, um, I I I think yeah, he just didn't work. He was a pylon tonight, and I don't say that to be mean. I don't want to say I've been defensive of Tony D'Angelo, but I've tried to be fair. And he just did not work tonight. He was the other player. I don't think he ever made up for it later in the game. I think Natchez, all in all, is a better player. So even though I don't like the style Natchez plays, Tony DeAngelo, I don't think warrants kind of the excuses for what he brings to the table when the plays he makes works out. I just don't. I think I think he should get another shot in the lineup. He has 2 points in 3 games as a defenseman. That's very good for the very small sample size. So I'm not saying he should be sent down, he should be traded, nothing like that. But I think tonight he lost his spot in the lineup, in my opinion. And if he is in the lineup, gets a couple of apples on the power play, gets a goal, great. I'm not going to complain. But I just I want to be fair. And I do think a lot of the hate Tony DeAngelo got tonight was warranted. Ranta, I think, made some phenomenal saves later in the game, but that was more making up for the first period. The first period, he was bad. There were even a couple chances before that where I'm like, oh, that was going to beat Ranta. Ranta wasn't playing his angles that well. He just looked off coming out tonight. And, everyone has a bad day at the office. Same goes for Natchez and DeAngelo. But there's, Ranta, I don't think played well. It wasn't a good night for Ranta. He had an amazing season last season. Don't get me wrong. I'm not, benching him, but I thought Ranta he had an off night. And that happens. But then he got it together. He got better as the game went on. Carolina, I mean, they finished the game with a power play goal. They started the game with one of the worst power plays they've ever had. Like, I mean, ever. I was literally going. Slavin makes an amazing block shot, takes the high stick, gets a double minor, sacrifices the body twice. And the Hurricanes don't do anything off that. When they're down 3-0, that's what you need to have to win a hockey game. And I said if they don't score here, they're not winning this game. They ended up not winning this game, even though it became close. They get a goal and they keep getting better. They ride that momentum. That's great. Then they do win. But yeah, and then man on man, I thought consistently all night was pretty bad in the defensive zone. In the offensive zone, they got their forecheck together, and that's when they started scoring. And it's Carolina's forecheck, so you don't get a lot of opportunities to see them in the D zone when they get rolling. So maybe it would have gotten better, but I mean, yeah, there were times where a guy just had all the time in the world to shoot and score. And I criticized Ranta's shot angles and how he was letting some softies in. He also like there were guys with 20 minutes, 20 seconds. They almost had a full period just being open in the slot with the puck. There was one where a guy just kind of skated through everyone. Now it's more excusable when that happens while I'm playing beer league, and I let a guy come in just up the middle because I think they're going to play the side, and then they don't. Like that's more excusable because I'm not getting paid to do that. But yeah, there are times I think one of Vetrano's chances. I don't think they ended up scoring on it, but I'm like, oh my god, how does he have all that time? The center's got to pick that guy up. And like it just they did not do a good job man on man. Then they had bad breakouts to mess it up. Natchez, I think, had a couple missed ones. Even Aho was missing them tonight. They just weren't in sync. The passes just what should be clean catch passes. Carolina was making complicated to catch. It was just a really off night, especially in the first period. So yeah, Hurricane of the game, I'm going to give it to Slavin. It is kind of when I don't have a lot of positives to say, I default to Slavin because Slavin is always brilliant. But I mean, it's going to continue. He's my favorite player for a reason. I think he had a very good game. He almost ripped a few goals. I mean, the plays he made that were trying to score weren't high risk. So he had the puck on the point, and he tried passing it to a guy down here, but nothing came of it. But the difference was between that and other plays I criticize that are high risk, the puck just goes into the corner and he can forecheck. That's what I like about Slavin. He finds the high reward, low risk plays, and I think he did a good job of that tonight. So that's it for this one, everyone. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for Corky's Corner. My dad, being an Oilers fan, probably has a lot to say, so tune into that. And I'll see you guys for that. And the next Hurricane review, and of course, I'll try to do some CFW, should be Tuesday when they play San Jose. See you guys then.